it's just like, it's, yeah, maybe we also need to look at sentencing. Maybe we shouldn't have these crazy, like, I also don't know if, like, I just think it's crazy. Like, life in prison is what's on the table for robbing the robbers back. I'm not saying to do it, but like OJ didn't get life, and OJ did that in Las Vegas after getting off with murder. He got like 9 years. I think 8 or 9 years or something like that. It wasn't very long compared to life. Anyway, and now, hi, welcome to Comrades.
where we discuss legal legal sentencing.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave all that in. That's going to actually be our intro. Intro, of course, to the Comrades of Cinema podcast.
Can't tell we're Lions fans.
Podcast where, we're having a bad day. Well, two of us are.
They are
kind
Lions
of a neutral
fans.
third party, yeah.
Yes.
One of our star players is a bit extreme. The only player we have at the position that he plays just got arrested and potentially going to jail for life. Bad times. At least Cleveland got Jared Verse when they lost.
Depends how old you are, Chad. Depends how old you are, Chad.
True. I know you can make it shorter. I should have said that.
But we're gonna talk about movies and stuff, maybe music or games or whatever. We're just gonna talk about what we've been watching this week. I'm gonna go first because this was my film of the week here. I finally started, and I didn't finish, but I watched the first 2 seasons of Ted Lasso, a show I've heard about for a long time, a show I've seen clips of, but I just never had Apple. And then for some reason, I had Apple for like 2 days, and I just binged through the first 2 seasons. So it's got the reputation of just being a really nice feel-good show. Good vibes, and I completely agree. That first season ranks pretty high up there for me as far as like seasons of TV. I think it's so rock solid. I think there's just enough like conflict to keep it going and keep it interesting. And Ted being this like stranger in a strange land, not understanding stuff, is a novelty that like really works throughout the first season, especially. Man, it's got like heart, and there are serious moments that really hit, and they contrast the nice, happy-go-lucky rest of the show in like a really nice way. And then season 2, I didn't love as much. I'm gonna try not to like just spoil stuff because Chad, I know you said you haven't seen it. Winston, I'm gonna be nice to the show. I still like it, but it just like. So first off, the whole stranger in a strange land thing is kind of gone. He's mostly been accepted by people at that point. Because in the first season, everyone is like, time they see him. Yeah. And it was going to happen. And that was like a plot point of the first one. Every time someone would be hired to like, oh, we're going to have him take him down. This guy's going to take Ted down. They'd leave being like, turns out I really like Ted. And it was great. But that was like a big element of the first season that was gone. I'll say the dialogue didn't feel as like snappy and quick as in season 2. And again, I like season 2. I thought it was good. I just thought it was like a decent step down from the first one. The conflict is kind of gone, and they keep doing this weird like, oh, here's a conflict. Let's immediately solve the conflict. When season 1 had like a long overarching conflict that kept impacting every episode. And, it would create small problems that would get solved. But there was that big problem hanging over your head the whole time. And season 2 didn't really have that. And then at the end, one character has a heel turn that's just like, what are we fucking talking about, man? Like, I didn't buy that at all. There's a relationship plot I didn't enjoy. It's, again, and it sounds like I'm shitting on this season, only because I really like season 1 could be a top 10 season of TV all time for me in terms of like enjoyment. I really, really loved season. I watched season 1 again throughout the week. Well, I guess not throughout the week. I watched part of season 1 before it expired, and then I watched clips of season 1 throughout the week because I no longer had Apple. But yeah, I also this is more of a spoiler. So Chad, if you don't want to know this, it's not like a huge one though. Good. There's one of the characters, Coach Beard, is outstanding. Love him. He's great. And part of what makes him so great is there's this like mystery around him where you have no idea what the fuck's going on with this guy and what he's doing. And then there's a Coach Beard episode that's just all following him and this insane night he has. And on one hand, it was like, oh, that's kind of fun. And on the other hand, it's like, I don't think we should know what's going on with this guy. Like, that's the whole mystique around this character.
Yeah.
And then I find out that episode was filmed well after the season was done. And that's why this season had season 2 had 12 episodes instead of 10. Because 2 episodes, the Christmas episode and the Coach Beard episode, were filmed later and just inserted in. And I'm like, well, that's why it flowed so fucking weird for those couple episodes. And it's just, yeah, for a show that was so good, season 1, it's still good. I still liked it. I was still smiling each episode. But yeah, kind of felt bummed out with that one. Although I have heard season 3 is like back in full force, and everyone I've talked to about it has been like, well, yeah, season 3 is way better than season 2. And maybe they're just saying that because I'm like, I said I stopped after season 2. I didn't tell everybody that wasn't my choice, but maybe they're just like, no, finish it.
I actually gave up on the whole Apple company.
Yeah.
After season 2.
Threw an iPad in the river. Wasn't even mine, but I was just like, I won't let them hurt anyone else.
I tell you, I understand what you mean though, because I think something that kind of gives the show some of its own charm also holds it back, which is I feel like there's one other show I was thinking of that has a similar sentiment, but it's still very rare. And it's that, outside of kids shows, particularly at least, to be such a positive show, especially for comedy. Comedy, you really don't see that. There's at least some level of cynicism. And that one really they tried to avoid it. And I think how that, on one hand, it gives it such a unique charm and aspect that you don't see anywhere else. And it takes you a little bit to get used to it at first, I feel like, if you're not ready for it. Like, it takes you a little bit to get into it. You're like, what the fuck is this? But
and I think what's amazing is they do that without sacrificing like heartfelt moments or like sad moments and emotional moments, and they play them both so nice without ever losing that sort of positive vibe through the whole thing. Even there's the big divorce plot, and it's like there are some scenes that like really hit like emotionally, but that positive energy is there the whole time, and that's like a really hard line to walk.
And the other thing is too, though, it also hinders it though, because then it's like, well, it's like, yeah, you want Ted Lasso to be that because that's who Ted Lasso is, but at the same time, it brings everyone else's cynicism almost completely because like now anyone who goes against, especially after season 1, when he kills everyone with kindness. Now you want to go to season 2. If you're against Ted Lasso in season 2, you're just a dick. You're just they have to paint you as such a monster, which is also so contradictory to what the show already is. It's like they would almost stand out too much. They
and
kind of
that's
need
like
to,
go on, sorry.
I would say they kind of need to keep bringing in that aspect of making him a fish out of water. Whether that is the changing the circumstance from his point of view or changing it to where they bring in new, they just bring in new people that he has to deal with who aren't used to him a little bit more, But it kind of almost reminds me, not the same way, but it reminds me a little bit of like, kind of like how, Prison Break,
Okay.
Who would have thought that once they broke out of prison,
Yeah.
that was the end of that for the most part, and it really was. I mean, they had season 2, which is like, okay, yeah, I'll watch it because I am interested. Like, they can't just disappear after leaving the prison. I'd like to see what happens. And then you're like, all right, that was good. And then season 3, you're like, they're back in a Puerto Rican prison. And you're like, all right, I can see where this is going. And season 3 wasn't bad, but you're like, I get where we're at. Okay, I get it. Prison Break. Yeah, I get you. We got to get them back in now to break them back out.
Yeah.
But it's me or Chad.
Oh, I actually forgot I had one other note there. But that's sort of when you said about like bringing in people who are even worse and worse. That's what kind of killed the sort of villain arc of one character through season 2. who I won't say because, again, Chet hasn't seen it. But anyone who's seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
You keep saying Chad hasn't seen it, and I'm getting no indication from Chad's face that he's planning on watching any of these.
I will eventually once I find out our Apple password.
Chet, take your headphones off for like 3 seconds. I'm talking about Nate through this whole arc here. The assistant coach turned enemy.
I just haven't seen it in a few years, so I'm forgetting season 2 a little bit. But
Chad, I'm not going to mention his name anymore, but just know I'm talking about him. So yeah, that character is it's like sort of out of nowhere becomes an asshole. And at first I was like, oh, I bet this is just a problem that he's going to have to solve. Ted's going to have to solve. And then Ted kind of doesn't treat this guy any different at all. And then he gives this big, like, fuck you, Ted. You treat me like shit. You always treat me like shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's done nothing but be kind to you. How is this like... And then it's like a big, like, oh, he's going to leave. And I'm like, good, fuck him. Like, why do we want this guy around? He sucks. Like, and not even in like a fun way where, you know, it's good when you watch a character go down a road, even if it's not right. Like if they think something's happening, but you watch each step that leads them in that direction. Here it's like you look and all of a sudden he's at the bottom of those stairs and you're like, how the fuck did you get down there? And it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm here now. And it's like, okay, fine. But like, as an audience member, it's very unsatisfying to watch it play out like that. But we can move on now. I could rant about this a while longer. In the end, season 1, 10 out of 10. So good. Season 2, probably like a 7, in my opinion. Maybe like a 6.5 if I focus on the bad parts. But still really good.
Is it Chad?
Doesn't matter.
Gotcha. So I was going to continue the House of Dragons, and the only reason I stopped had nothing to do with not wanting to continue the House of Dragons. I got into Ken Burns' Civil War documentary. How it happened was quite simple. TikTok again started putting up videos of the Ken Burns Civil War documentary narration to like black and white photos of SpongeBob. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm just enjoying the hell out of this. And also I just love the voice. I love the narration and I love history. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like Civil War is one of those deceptive. I feel like wars when it comes for my like a knowledge of history, I feel like, because it's like I learned it so young that it makes me think I know a lot about it, but it's like I also don't know a lot about it. Like I feel like it's like I what I learned in school, and then I actually watched a nice little lecture series a couple of years ago, and then this Ken Burns Civil War documentary. And I wouldn't say I learned much new, you know. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry war, you know, regardless of what my teacher in 8th grade might try to tell you, you know. Obviously one side wants slaves. The other side kind of just wanted the union, and then eventually it was like, also, we don't want slaves. And some of them were actually kind of mixed about that. But
I remember learning later that it was like, that wasn't as big a factor for the North as we like to say it was.
No, for real. It
when
was
we
like,
talk about it.
It literally, I was telling Banner, it was literally like, they're like, the South is like, if we can't have slaves, we're leaving. And the North is like, the hell you're leaving. You know, like,
yeah.
Like it'd be so nice if we could look back and be like, man, they were just against slavery. You know, they were just against it. But it's like, you know, they did the right, they did a right thing in the end. I would say the full right thing. They didn't go all the way through, obviously, like they should have.
They kind of like tripped and fell their way into the right thing, where it's you
but
accidentally get to be a hero in the scope of history.
When you hear about how like little, like it was like even Lincoln was like, if I could bring us all together and we could just once again ignore slavery, I'd be happy with that. And it was like, okay.
So was that, I don't know if they would have mentioned it. I heard a quote I always thought was like fake, but also like I very well could have been real, where he had the quote of like, if I could have ended the war without freeing the slaves, I would have done that too, or something.
I'm fairly certain that's a true quote. I've heard that.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to hear.
Maybe they are the party of Lincoln after all.
I mean, yeah,
Gifts.
it doesn't really seem like, exactly. And then like when people like I had my teacher in 8th grade tell me like it was actually fought over states' rights, and me being just thinking all teachers are going to give you all the right information. I'm just thinking like, oh, I heard a little tidbit that someone didn't tell me before. That's interesting. And now I'm just like, yeah, the state right was slavery. Like we just, I mean, states' right. It was a slight factor in terms of they do mention the documentary that he's having a little protest. They do
There's
mention
nothing back here.
They mentioned the documentary that I forgot what I was going to say.
Still nothing back there.
He's distracted me. What was I saying?
You
Nothing important.
distracted me.
Fair enough.
You start looking, and I start looking like, what is he fucking? Because I'm stupid. But I was like,
I'll tell you a fun fact I learned that I did not know, which I'm like, wow, we could have learned about this in school. This could have been not useful, but fun. Could have broken it up a little bit. There was a general. I want to say he was on the Union side. I don't think it matters. There was a general who, instead of like when his army would go battle to battle or would they travel, he wouldn't ride on horse or walk with them. He'd travel in hot air balloons.
that's sick. Dangerous, but sick.
And I'm like, how do we not learn about this?
Did you see that footage of the parking lot where the hot air balloon came down and fucked up someone's car? And then just started floating away, and they're like, "Stop!" And you see them like, "Oh, okay," as they're pulling the thing, and the flames coming out. So it's like you can't pretend you're not trying to escape as you're like, re-inflating a hot air balloon.
Hit and float away.
Yeah,
That reminds me. I tell you, here's the thing. I actually have well, I wouldn't say I'd say it's a normal fear of hot air balloons. I have a fear of hot air. Well, it's not a normal reason, but you remember the Amanda Show?
Of course.
I'm fairly certain I'm going to get the skit right on this one. He shared a bunch of different skits, but I think it was called Moody's Point. That might have been the name of a different one, but the story was about it was like a Degrassi style thing, and it was this teenager going through all of her issues, and one of the issues happened to also be that her mother was missing and lost in a hot air balloon.
Yep.
And it would cut to this woman floating in the sky in a hot air balloon. She couldn't get to go down. And I'm like, not going up on one of them. Not going up on one of those. And then when I found out that the real thing that people actually do, I'm like, once again, not going up on one of those. But yeah, so I've been enjoying that. I think I got 1 or 2 episodes left. And I think he's got a Vietnam and I want to say World War I or World War II. Who am I kidding? It's got to be World War II. Don't just World War I. So I'm gonna. But I'm
if
excited
they
to
do
watch
a World
those.
War I, they still got a World War II because they're not stopping with one.
Side note, and I want to say this just in case PBS is listening, because Lord knows no one else is. Listen, PBS, I want to give you money. I will give you money if I need to give you money to watch your things. But I can't give you a lump sum payment of $60. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, I went on PBS and let me watch the documentary, the first episode. I'm like, I'm loving this. Look at all these documentaries. Why haven't I been on PBS before? It's free. No, episode 1's free. The rest you have to donate to PBS. Now I'm fine with that. I understand you want a little money, you need a little bit of money. I get that. They want a donation to have access to. It's called the passport feature or whatever. To have access to watch everything. They want a yearly donation of $60. Now, I'm not against paying them $5 a month, but that wasn't an option. The option was I could pay them a lump sum, but unless that lump sum was $60, I wasn't going to watch anything. I could pay them $5 a month, and then after 12 months, I'd have access to watch it. I don't know for how long. Maybe that year, I guess. But so anyway, like I was saying, maybe give me the option. Anyway,
did it come out in 1990?
Might have been 85. Might have been the 80s.
Because there's one. It was the first episode called "The Cause."
Yeah.
Okay. There's a streaming site called Hoopla that all you need is a library card and you get all the episodes for free.
I'll write that down. But I will say how I ended up getting around this, if you will, was I went on a whole lot of hoopla. I went around it by I went on Amazon and I found that they had a PBS documentaries add-on. And the add-on gave me access to it, and it was only they were running the special till June 26th. So get in it while you can. Oh, this won't be posted by then, but it will. It was for the first 2 months, was going to be 99 cents a month for this add-on, and then it was $5 afterwards. So, like I said, that money could have been PBS's. It could have been PBS's if they just give me the option of signing up for like, hey, do you want to sign up for a $60 membership and pay $5 a month? Yeah, no problem. Give me access to it. As long as it gives me the access to watch it. I don't want to wait a year, of course. But like, I wanted to. Anyway, that's my TED talk. I will just rant in circles on this one until one of you stop me. Even though I am watching the documentary and enjoying it fine,
I love a good documentary. In fact, I've for my movie prompts, I've had a all documentary one lined up for a bit, but there's one movie I keep wanting to talk about, and I'm like, well, that's not a doc, so I'll save the all doc ones until you pick that one. You have not picked it yet. It's been 6 weeks in a row where you just don't pick it. So sooner or later, we'll talk about that one, and then we'll talk about some docs next time because a lot of good ones out there, a lot of good stuff.
We'll try better. We'll try harder next time.
Yes, please. Don't make me the drama it again.
Every time Chad are like, we're thinking 2 and 3. Josh just rolls his eyes. God damn it.
Genuinely, last week, that's what it was. I was like, fuck off. Okay, fine.
There's one that I really want, and then there's 2 really dope prompts I'm going to come up with.
This first prompt, I give a 2-minute monologue. Prompt 2 is a movie I saw once, and prompt 3 is
I can't remember.
Movie I heard about.
And
you guys are like, you heard about this movie? Hold on. What's tell me more about this movie you've heard of.
I'm intrigued in this one that you can't remember the name of. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What about you, Chad?
So I'm probably going to disappoint Josh here because over the weekend I told him that I was watching a TV show and that I was going to talk about it here, but I haven't caught up yet, so I'm not going to talk about it, and we'll probably talk about it next week. Anyway.
I assumed you were going to talk about this, so it's okay.
What?
I thought I knew what you were going to talk about next. So
you thought of playing ahead?
No. What's your thing, Chad?
Oh, so I actually have 2 pretty short things. Anyways, so the first one is I can't believe we haven't talked about this already, but the newest season of Dropout's Game Changer is so much fun.
It is off to a blazing start.
What's it called? Drop off Game Changer?
Dropout
Game Changer.
Dropout's the network that it's on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This last episode is like I don't know, top 5 for me. I had so much fun with it.
It was really great.
It did kind of you could tell they were running out of time and they just needed to get it over with, so they completely cut off a whole part of the game. And I'm like,
I read something that it was the first one to get to 1.
No. Did you watch the behind the scenes?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, they tell us what the prompt was for 1. Okay. Anyway, but
union rules.
Yeah, Brendan, I'm assuming since you didn't know nothing about it.
No context. Absolutely.
So
no what we talked about.
This is a improv game show, I would say, was the best way to describe it, where the game changes every episode, and the contestants have no clue what they're playing before the game starts. And they have to learn how to play the game, figure out how to get good at it to win.
I feel like I might have seen
clips of it on TikTok. Yes.
Was Eric Andre recently in one of them?
Who?
Eric Andre?
No.
Brendan? No.
Brendan Lee Mulligan? Yes.
And I see him on a lot of things. So I don't know if I. I think if I saw a clip, maybe I'd get it, but maybe I'd recognize it, but probably not. Whatever it is, I haven't seen much of. If I've seen it,
It might be the best show actively on a streaming network right now.
What's it on?
If you just want to be entertained,
Dropout.
Dropout. I'll send you my login.
That's a streaming network it's on.
Yeah.
Yes. It used to be College Humor.
Okay. It used to be on College
and
Humor.
I can
Dropout used to be College Humor.
Dropout, the owner or like the CEO of College Humor, when it was going under, basically bought out the company, changed the name to Dropout, and now they're like a streaming service putting out really just a bunch of incredible content.
It's
the best way to kill time. And I said I'll send you my login, and we can say that on the recording without fear, because Sam Reich, the CEO of Dropout, has been very open about, hey, if someone you know wants to watch Dropout and doesn't have it, share your password with them. Share it with everybody. Just like whatever gets people watching. We want
that's going to be the new
people
no
to see
late
it.
fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could honestly probably do a whole episode on just different Dropout episodes of like, you know, Game Changer, Make Some Noise, Crowd Control, fucking
Very important people.
Dimension
Dimension 20, anybody?
Smarty Pants, freaking any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, just this new season, it's not quite halfway over because I think there's 8 episodes, right?
Either 8 or 10. I think it's 8, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the last one was episode 3. But oh man, I wish I was Brendan right now and just being able to watch all of them for the first time again. But
I so cannot. I genuinely, like Chad said, we could do a whole episode on this. We could just do an episode about me talking about how much I appreciate Dropout as a streaming service.
Yeah.
And the type of content they make and the freedom they give the people to make shows. And the fact that, Chad, I don't know if you heard, we're getting a Jacob Wysocki travel show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm so stoked. I'm like, there's so much good stuff.
Jacob Wysocki, he's not that. I'm thinking of someone who I don't know if that's. He's not that Anthony Bourdain impersonator, is he?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
He's the star of Pitch Perfect.
Oh, I was thinking about that TikTok guy who's got that voice like Anthony Bourdain, and he goes around and gives similar monologues at places.
No, he was
This
in
guy-
Wuthering Heights and Euphoria.
Oh. Wait, are you telling, is that the guy Brennan's talking about, or are you pretending that it's Jacob Elordi?
I'm pretending.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I should get to my second one. But my second one is so I recently watched the 3rd season of School Spirits. Brendan, have you ever heard of the show?
I don't know what is going on. You're on.
I don't know how I found
I
this
feel
show.
I feel like some boomer right now, just like whatever these noises.
I don't know how I found this show, but the premise of the show is so good that all of the flaws in this show, I'm just like, I can look past that. I guess this is just
To an extent.
I'm having so much fun. But this last season, so Josh, you haven't seen it, right?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay, so I know that you and Tango had an issue with the Simon character, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you this. I think by the end of the season, he's not in it enough that you aren't going to be annoyed as much.
Good.
But I personally didn't have much issue with Simon, so maybe that's... Anyway, so basically the premise of the show is this high school girl gets trapped at her school as a ghost. And there are other ghosts there who died at the school throughout the time that the school has been a school. And their ghosts are just all trapped there. And there's a teacher who's trying to be like not only a teacher, but like a counselor and therapist and everything. And basically they're trying to figure out what happened to this girl because she doesn't remember. She got hit in the head and doesn't remember anything. Like anything like the day or two before that her death happens. And it's there are some moments in the show that are so like you'll just cry, like just real tears of just like just the friendships that are formed and that sort of stuff. You're just like, well, I'm so invested in these people now. I have to watch even through all the flaws.
Is this a
There's a
live
character.
action show or is this an
Yeah.
anime show?
Yeah.
There's a character in the first season who you're supposed to hate his guts. You are supposed to be like, this is the worst person ever. And by the time the third season comes around, he is just the nicest and sweetest person who has ever lived ever in the history of humanity. And you're like, well, okay. Like,
So, Chad, I don't remember his name, but is it this guy?
yeah, I think we're on the same
Okay.
wavelength.
There's a guy who I like, but every time he's on camera, his head is like this to the side. Every time. And it drives me fucking crazy. But the character is really good. Even through season 2, his arc was like outstanding.
Yeah.
As he does his arc, does his head go from a Dutch angle to another?
No, unfortunately, it stays the same.
But yeah, everybody should watch this show so I can have more people to talk with it, like about it. But
is this on the same streaming service?
No, this is on Paramount. But yeah, did I talk about what you wanted to talk about, Josh?
Not even wanted to. I just assumed you were going to bring up episode 1 of season 3 of House of the Dragon.
Oh no, I was gonna wait for the end of the season for that.
Okay. Well, then we'll talk about that off mic at some point because Lori and I have some thoughts. Her as someone who knows what the story, like the actual book, and me who does not. That sounds like it's bad. I thought this episode was pretty fucking sick. But we can move on to our next segment, which was chosen by Chad, and he teased it.
What's the title?
What do we want to call this segment, Chad?
Not to disappoint you guys, but I'm not going to go with what I originally.
Damn it!
We can't do the Chad wastes everybody's time because I'm going to go on a 10-minute TED Talk about a topic of your guys' choosing. So I have 2 written down here that I've spent time researching. The first one is basically, can infinity be an exponent? And if it is, why? And if it's not, why not? Or why can't we go in space travel like straight up? Like all the planets are in alignment.
You've already got me, Chad. Go with the last one. How do you go? Why won't we just go up or down? Why won't we just go up or down? And what's out there? Why are we so afraid? Watch out, the doc is the title of my essay.
So I was hoping you guys wouldn't be as enthused because I actually didn't do the research. Those were just 2 things I found interesting throughout the week.
Well, then perfect.
So I actually did. I do have some trivia for you.
Okay.
So we want to do like, I have a buzzer system. If you guys want to do a buzzer system, or do you guys want to just say your name?
Buzz.
Buzz.
We have to say Buzz.
Works for me.
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear Shark Command.
So, let's pull this up. So, I have 5 questions here. They are start easy, get progressively harder, and I tried to stick to the theme of our movie of the week.
Oh boy.
All right. So the first question is,
Why
is the
don't I
name?
like this movie?
What is the name of the sword Rumi uses?
God damn it!
I've seen this movie
Excalibur.
a bunch of times. I have no idea.
Okay, that was a trick question that doesn't have a name.
Thank God. Is this whole segment gonna be you bait and switching us? If so, that rules. Did we get game changer?
No. So it does have it's based on a Korean sword named Seiin Gumi, something like that. My Korean isn't the best, but anyway, so I do have trivia based on the movie, but it's just not that hard or a trick question. So, first question: who was supposed to wear the hat?
Oh, the tiger.
Alrighty.
Where the bird keeps wearing it.
Oh, I genuinely, you said all that, and I'm like, this is a trick question. He's talking about that story you told from The Wire, where Bubbles made the gang members wear the red hat. He's going to ask us trivia about movies that we talked about in our media mashup.
No, you overthought it.
I did. Way overthought it.
I'm keeping score here. Alrighty. Second question. What is the latitude line that divides North and South Korea?
53rd parallel?
Incorrect. Brennan?
Shit, I know it's. I think Josh is close. That definitely sounds close. I'm just gonna have to pass. I don't know, and I don't want to even make a guess. 47.
No.
No.
I'll give you, Josh, you get one more shot.
Not 51, is it?
Is it the 51st parallel?
No.
Just say it.
It's the 38th.
The only reason I know it, and I gotta watch it again, I guess, there's a clip of Rodney Dangerfield. I think that's where I know it from. Is Rodney Dangerfield's in a class, and Sam Kinnison's the teacher, and he goes on this long rant about how they should have kept pushing them or whatever. Maybe that might be a career they were talking about, though. I don't know. Either way.
Alrighty. So, third question. Yeah, third question. What is the name of Paul McCartney's other major band?
Wings.
Alrighty.
Damn, I couldn't even say it quick enough. It's almost like you were a band member yourself.
No.
Blushing again.
What's the name of the main demon in the first seasons of Supernatural?
I watched episode 3.
Was it? Oh, hold on. I know this isn't it. The name Sephiroth keeps coming to my head. That's the bad guy from Final Fantasy VII. That's not. It's the woman. I don't remember her name.
It's not a woman.
It's not. Was she later seasons then?
Yeah, it's Lilith you're thinking of, and that's
Lilith,
season
it was
4 or 5.
Lilith. It's not Crowley, is it?
That's later.
I don't remember.
This is actually, I would have accepted the non-official name of Yellow Eyes, but the actual name is Azazel.
I'm not saying that on this show.
Azazel was the correct answer, or Yellow-Eyed Demon.
I watched Supernatural in 2012, Chad. I don't remember.
I watched 3 episodes with him that year.
Okay.
All I remember is there's no house in this picture. Sam, look slightly to the left of the page.
Okay, last question. Surprisingly, Your vocal cords are located within what part of the body?
Esophagus?
Did you say esophagus?
I did. I'm like, that's not right. Did you hear my questioning as I got halfway through that word?
What did you say, Brennan?
What?
Larynx.
Yes. Okay. So ding ding ding. Somehow, Brennan wins.
Yeah, I like the way you said
by score, that's the how.
That felt good for me, the way you said that. Probably not great for Brennan.
Yeah, sounds like Josh is the real winner.
Even in defeat, I leave stronger than I came.
Does that bring us to the film of the week?
The film of the week. Yes, this was my choice for film of the week, and my prompt, if I'm correct. So I've put this one up multiple weeks in a row under different prompts. I think last week was the film that cost a studio $1 billion. And there was one that was just
Made someone else. No, that was the prompt I think we picked for ended up being the one that cost the studio the most, but then they end up someone else made the money or something.
Yeah. So I'm going to quickly do my little ramble about the movie, and then I'll explain the prompt a little bit. So I watched this movie around about a year ago. So actually, Friday was the 1 year anniversary of this movie coming out. And I heard a bunch about it. I saw a bunch of like memes and shit about, oh, this movie is so good. It's so amazing. The music's so good. And I kind of wrote it off as like, yeah, okay. It's like, oh, the K-pop stans are really trying to push this movie. K-pop Demon Hunters, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And after a couple weeks of hearing how good it was, I thought, you know what? It was a slow day at work. I think the power went out, and I was like, okay, well, since I can't leave, I guess I'll just watch this movie and see what it's about. And what a fucking delight this whole movie is. It's so much fun. The music is outstanding. The music is in my heavy rotation. Last week I pulled up I have the vinyl for it. Golden is like a top. Golden is already in my Spotify. Put out a playlist of your top 50 songs of all time on Spotify. Golden is like number 10 on that list for me because I bump it so much. And there are 3 other songs from the soundtrack in my top 50. But the reason I chose that prompt is and another prompt I had for it was a movie that proves it's worth taking a risk on a creative wild card. So Sony Animated Pictures made this movie for about $100 million they put into it. And which, truthfully, looking at the animation, which is stunning, absolutely gorgeous animation. The fight scenes look incredible. I love the character designs, the movement of everything. Everything looks great. And they were going to can it and get rid of it. And they sold this movie to Netflix for $20 million. Netflix, after purchasing this movie, they released it to have it go as the number 1 movie on Netflix for 2 months straight, the longest streak that's ever been held by a Netflix movie at number 1 on the platform. It had, I think every song has gone platinum. Golden was the number 1 Billboard song for weeks on end. It got put into theaters because it was so successful, and in theaters earned $700 million. And here's the craziest part. Sony not only sold this movie and the right to put out this movie, in the deal, the $20 million deal, because they had so little faith, they gave up sequel rights and, more important, all merchandising rights. That means every little girl you saw as Rumi at Halloween last year, every K-pop Demon Hunters doll, the tiger, the bird, all of that, every vinyl, every t-shirt, which I have one right here, every single thing they put out, Sony Pictures will not see a dime of it. And it is estimated with already $700 million from the theater releases, because they put out the movie, they put out karaoke versions of the movie, they threw big sing-along like screenings of this movie. It made, again, $700 million plus all the merchandising. It is now estimated that Sony fucked themselves out of over $1.5 billion because they had no faith in this movie. And I think it is just such a unique and, again, just creative movie that it deserves all the praise it gets. I totally understand people who are like, it's not really my thing, but I don't think you can deny the sort of risks they took and applaud that they made a movie of the quality they made.
See, I feel like the way what you're describing sounds like it's an example of what I'm guessing happened. If I had to take a bet, I would bet that whoever it was who kind of greenlit this at Sony, and then was fired.
Probably.
Because it's like this has like because you don't go from being like we believe in this basically brand new IP, unestablished IP, so much we're gonna put $100 million into it. Animation wise, so it's not even like there's it's like some yeah, but we're gonna get Leonardo DiCaprio type thing.
Yeah.
So it's like to then go from being like we have absolutely no faith in this, we'll take literally anything because it's gonna be a tax write-off probably. Like that's damn. It's nice to see when they make bad decisions like that. Nice to see the consequences.
Yeah, and I mean this movie has won Grammys. It has won 2 Oscars. It is about as successful as an animated movie can be. Like it's just there's no way around it. It hit the best animated picture,
honestly,
best original song.
Surprises me Disney didn't go after it.
I mean, who knows if it was even an offer, or maybe
Yeah.
Disney. I feel like Disney's kind of like we have our own people, like we have our own projects we're working on. We don't need to take a finished one from someone else.
If they gone after it, would have been like kill it.
Yeah,
burn the pictures.
But yeah, before we really dive in, what did you guys think about it?
So I will say I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I watched it just the one time. So I will say I feel like it was one of those where it was like, I guess I will just rely on you a little bit too, because you've seen it so many more times to remind me of a few things on it, or just like bring up more memories of it, just because I felt like it was like both like a simple, quick story, but also like, wow, a lot is actually happening. They packed a lot in here. And no, I really enjoyed it. I thought first off, I got a little bit of vibe of the Hex Girls, which I have a special place in my heart for the Hex Girls. And I loved the voices. What I loved about the music was, like I said, this is why it reminded me of Disney, because I feel like this is the only other place I've seen it done, and I want to see more of it, which is I like the idea of kind of an action musical, and I think the music really lends to the action, to the fights and everything. The only thing I found myself kind of wanting, and to something we even maybe expecting a little bit, was I was expecting, and I know that Jin Yu sang, but Jin Yu, while being a demon, was not really presented. He was presented basically the same way as our main character was presented. Kind of like very much kind of like a half and half. I would have liked to see, even in the beginning on the plane, the demons kind of sing as they also fought back. I would have liked to see that, but no, I enjoyed it. I kind of questioned on why they were flying in the plane in the beginning, I guess, if they could clearly fly down to the stadium. And also I thought it was funny when there was at one point where they're like, oh, we can't kill this demon, it'll be too public, even though they opened the concert with them killing a demon on stage in front of everyone. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought I enjoyed what I really loved about the music. I loved the mixture of the Korean and the English. I thought that worked so well. I thought it did so. It was like this nice little tone shift while also kind of like being like, it sounded like, because it flowed perfectly, and it's like, oh, that's supposed to, wait, those aren't English words. Like it was just, I don't know, it was, I liked it.
There were a couple times I'd be like, "Oh, I didn't quite catch that line," and then I'd be like,
That's
why.
Say,
that's why I
no,
didn't
that was
catch
Korean.
it."
Did he say blah blah blah? No, that was Korean. Okay. No, I liked it. I love that like every good superhero movie, you need to have the parental figure of the superheroes to be like, listen, you're normal, everything's fine, but let's not tell a soul. You're perfect the way you are, and it's even more perfect. No one knows how you are. Like,
one thing I liked about that point, this movie, and we can maybe touch on this more later, but I feel like oftentimes in kids' movies, which ultimately, this movie is definitely like a kids' movie, but I think it's one of the kids' movies that can be enjoyed by everybody because it didn't sacrifice its quality to be a kids' movie. A little bit. Yeah. But I think too often, that's true. That's part of the reason why the sequel is taking so long, because they were making this movie. But I think so often in movies like that, a character will have like a flaw or like something wrong with them, like Rumi being a demon, and they turn it into this like, oh, actually, that's not a flaw. That's your strength. And like they end up making it a good thing. And, Rumi comes back to and ultimately saves the day. But it's not like because she's a demon. And I think that's sort of a much better lesson of like, yes, you will have flaws, but that doesn't like that like you can have flaws and still be good. Like you don't have to be defined by the flaws. But also, sometimes flaws might just be there. Like that's something you can't avoid. But you can choose to work around it to be good.
I liked it. What it ended up being in the end was that the actual problem, the actual bad thing, was just denying reality, basically, or just kind of denying the truth or your true self, or just like kind of almost like the shame, was what was the problem. And how she was. I love the line at the end. I thought it was such a turn that you really wouldn't expect to see. I feel like in movies, which is her being like, I feel like in another movie, it would have been like she would have gone to the tree to see her parental figure, and when I feel like when she was like rejected, it would have been like she would have gone away and there would have been another sad song, and then it would have been like this, somehow reconciling with it, instead of it just being like, well, actually, if this is how you are, if this is how the true nature, like whatever we have to protect is, I'm actually good without it. Like I thought, like kind of like if this, like if it's, no, I don't even know. I guess I don't even know how to word it just off the one viewing like this. But I thought the message that they were trying to get across, I thought was very very nice, and something you don't see enough in media. And I think sometimes I noticed that and some of you kind of can see some of new IPs coming out with like I feel like lessons or points of view that maybe you weren't normally getting, and I think it's nice to see that change in the newer generations. But no, I enjoyed. I particularly loved when, especially was the cat and the bird. Love those. I was like, I got to get me a cat and bird. I was like, the way its eyes were, it had such an Alice in Wonderland vibe.
Winston hated that idea.
Sorry, buddy.
Cats and birds, known friends.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I love the little hat that it had, the way its eyes were. Both of them, both the cat and the bird. I thought that was. I enjoy those characters. Yeah, no, I thought I would. The other thing I want to say, the other thing I love, and I don't know where. I think I classified them. I'm going to classify it, I guess, as under like, I guess, more like, I guess, Asian themed media. I don't know. The only other example I was going to give it, I know it's been other shows, but like the other show that I know that I've seen that focuses on this or makes this a point is Dragon Ball Z, of treating relaxation and leisure and eating like the delicacies and the importance that they should be, like giving them real time and importance, and without like having to be ashamed. Like they want to take a break, they want to relax, they want to just pig out, they want to like, I don't know. I kind of I feel like I said, you get that in Dragon Ball Z. I feel like you get that in kind of like more kind of like Asian themed shows, where like I don't know. I always love that vibe when they I mean, every time I see them eat in any type of cartoon like this, I'm always like, my God, I'm starving now. These are foods I would probably not even eat myself because I'm so picky. But at the same time, watching a cartoon character eat them, I'm like, I must try all these I must try all these. Anyway, but yeah, so.
Chad, what'd you get?
I I remember, I think Josh recommended this to me months ago, and I watched it just kind of on a whim. I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll check it out. It's not too long and whatever. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I liked all the songs. I listened to the soundtrack for like a couple weeks after, and then so when I watched it again this week, I freaking love this movie. It was so damn good. So my first review of it was, this is the best version of this type of movie I've seen since Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I contend that that's still true, but so I just the theme of like not being ashamed of like who you are, I really stood out more this rewatch, and I don't know, that's just such a good like freaking message, man. I can't like I don't know. That really resonated with me, and all the songs are great. One of the things I almost did for our like me segment is we all had to debate who among Huntress Huntrix we are. But I thought that would be a little too connected. But yeah, it was the animation's great, the fighting's so much fun. I love that they can just pull weapons out of thin air. Just brilliant. Yeah, I think it's making Beyond the Spider-Verse worth the wait.
To touch on the themes of shame, I think because I think that's the main theme. The like you aren't like the things you're ashamed of don't define you, and you don't need to cling on to shame. But I like that it's not just like, oh, things you did. Like you have different scopes of shame. So for like the main demon, it's a choice he made that he is ashamed of to this day. For Rumi, it's the circumstances she was born into that she's ashamed of. For Mira, it's her family life left her feeling shame. And for Zoe, it was that like identity and like I don't quite know who I am or where I fit, and that gives you shit. And it was like the sort of scope of issues that were addressed. Even the manager at the end had the shame where it was like, you're not doing a good enough job at your job.
Yeah.
And that is something you are ashamed of.
I liked how I like how at the end how it was like how they really showed it of being like the voice in their head, like this foreign voice telling you like that you're not good enough or that you're doing something wrong. Like I thought that was really good. And I loved the voice in general. Just like I loved the kind of, I was talking about just characters. Like I loved how they had the main demon was just like these flames. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was no, I really like.
Did you guys watch Squid Game?
Yes.
I won't
'Cause that's
watch after
the,
season 2
The front man
or season 1.
is.
You won't watch season 1?
I won't watch after season 1.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I was just saying that
It's
won't
pretty
watch
good.
season 1. I was like, interesting. I only do sequels. I don't do the original
But yeah,
material.
the demon is the front man, and I'm because as I started, I'm like, I know I recognize his voice.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, I was just saying, I did sound familiar. It did sound very familiar, and like I said, I definitely liked the sing. I don't know if I haven't gone back to this song. I haven't found myself. Not to say they weren't catchy, but I haven't found myself being like going back into them. I'm not saying I won't, but I did think when the first song came on, I was like, it was like, obviously it was like before I realized these are going to be really on the nose. And all I kept thinking was when that first one came out, she literally opens up by being like, we're hunters of demons or something. I was like, I remember thinking just like, brothers. He's my brother.
I would say quickly that first song has a line that I love so much and does not get the love it deserves in how it's done. She drops the line, bleeding isn't in my blood. And I'm like, that's hard as fuck. That line is so cool. That's so sick. And
that sounds like what Ben Stiller's character in Dodgeball wanted to say. When he's like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah.
But that's a good one.
That's just that what always stood out.
That's
and even I don't remember the exact line, but it's like nails, hair, blades, mascara, fit check for my napalm era. I'm like, fuck, man, this is good. This is real good off rip.
You know these songs a lot better than I do. Like,
oh, I know most of them. Like most
I'm
of
still
the
trying to
words
decipher what's not Korean.
It does fall a bit into the same trap that That Thing You Do falls into, where if the music didn't like rip as hard as it does, the movie probably isn't as good. But we don't have to face that fact because the music rips.
Especially when they have a song that's when you come up with a song that you're going to repeat. Also, it's like that's got to be a really good song.
Yeah,
you know, you got to really.
The fact that ended up being like I guess Golden gets repeated a couple times, but what's the other? Oh my god, Takedown also gets repeated throughout, and I think all of the songs rip. So
I also love that they were like, she was like, I mean, part of it was also because she was trying just to get away from like the whole demon thing, but like, I also like that she was like, no, the song should be positive too. Like, you know, we're not being any better with the negative song, and what's the line I love? The bit I loved when they're like, I forget the lines exactly, but it was like when they introduced that they're going to do a demon boy band to the main demon, and then the crowd is like, they're like, what? And then like they take the hoods off and they go, never mind.
Like that'll work. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna work.
Yeah, no, I love that bit. No, I thought it was I definitely think it was a fun one. I think it's seeing a movie like this. Like I said, it's kind of. I think it's like it's enough of a kids movie where it's like I feel like that would be the demographic that most likely is going to lean toward. It's going to lean towards at least younger people. I don't know. It's just nice to be like, oh wow, I like this message. I'd like that. Let's do more like this. Do more messages like this. You know,
I think, like I sort of said earlier, so often you'll see a movie like the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and people will be like, dude, this shit sucked. And people go, it's a kids movie. And it's like, right, but you're allowed to make good kids movies.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be like, that's not an excuse to make a bad movie and go, oh, well, kids love it. They're not paying attention. Like
people try to throw that as if because kids are involved somehow it's lesser. They do the same thing with sports. It's a kid's game. He can't walk.
Yeah.
Like this is not a kid. Like war is also a kid's game, but we won't say that to soldiers. Though
I say that every time I break out a deck of cards. I'm just like
it was just a game. Start hearing the choppers as you're shuffling.
Just one other
sound of
thing.
distant Hueys.
sort of significance with this movie for me. I very much relate like eras in my life to the music I was listening to at that time. And like
Yeah.
hearing a song will
Yeah.
instantly take me back to that moment. And I watched this movie the day before. So my wife started her own business, and it was the day before she did her first ever like vending show, like at like a big, like cities will put on events where they have all the tents with people selling their stuff. And she was vending, and I had to go to Lowe's to get some stuff to like help set up the tent and like bolt it down and everything. And I watched that movie at work, and I remember just like walking through hardware stores with Golden on repeat, just that one song in my headphones, and then being at the fair where it was like a huge success. We didn't know what to expect, and she like sold out of all her product in like the first day and had to panic make more all night to sell out of all those the next day. And like, so I like very vividly associate the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack with that weekend, which was just like so much fun, and watching her like succeed so over the top in this thing she was super stressed about. So it's just like the added bonus of like the extra feel good. But and then I rewatch this movie, like made me way more emotional than I thought it would.
Same.
Largely because I'm like, thinking of like, because I've heard interviews and stuff with the cast, and like the woman who does the singing for Rumi talks about she got like bullied for wanting to be like a K-pop singer, and multiple times, I saw like 3 times, was hospitalized because she was beat up by other kids at school
For wanting to be a singer?
Specifically like a K-pop singer in America.
Oh.
And like there's just so much. And so to watch her go from that to be given this insane movie premise where now it's like, well, guess what? Not only have you made one of the most popular like K-pop products this world's ever seen, you are an Oscar winner, you are a Grammy winner. Like the success that all of these people had for such like a risk they took. It's just like, it's so cool to watch something that people were clearly so passionate about.
Yeah,
This
it was something she was ashamed of, and now it's.
You got to be.
Yeah.
You got to be some very. You got. I'm just trying to picture the thought process of attacking a singer in grade school. Like.
Yeah, but
like
like this is because this is not a movie that gets made without passion behind it. There are a lot of movies you see come out and you're like, oh, so that was just like a script floating around that someone thought, oh, I could do that. And they did that. This is not one of those. This had to be made with like love and true belief in the thing. So to see the amount of success that came from it. Yeah. And then to know that like even after it was done, Sony saw the finished product and thought, let's sell this for 1/5 of what we spent on it. And then it still like overcomes all those odds and ends up being the success it was. It's like, that's just so fucking cool, man. And it like multiple points it hit me, and it like I don't know why it hit me so hard this watch, but I was like, damn, that's just so cool.
I agree. I do agree. It's I feel like there's a part of me that just every time you hear stories behind like how shows or movies got to where they are, it's like we were talking about Squid Games. It was like that was on someone's desk for 20 years, and like that's not a feel good story. But this is barely.
Is that a member of Huntrix?
Because the thing about this too is it's like, so if Netflix is gonna make is got the rights to the new one, are they gonna get the people who made the first one involved? Or are those people going to be like, are those just Sony's people? And they're like, nah, we're not, like.
I think that they're willing. They made so much money that they're like, yeah, we'll buy your contract.
Maybe. But honestly,
sorry, Lori just got home. But yeah, I think for sure it's just whoever worked on this movie, Netflix is going to be like, whatever money they gave you, we will triple it, because like just whatever it takes. And again, it isn't a guaranteed success to like launch from here. So often you see like a sleeper hit come out of nowhere and then they try to recreate the formula, and it just doesn't work. But I have faith that with like the writers and everything behind it, I think this is a lock for like a long-term franchise.
I feel like what hurts a lot of those type of things that come out of nowhere and then get that that second the bigger sequel or the bigger follow-up. I feel like what hurts those is that they're usually so indie in the beginning and they're so kind of low budget and they've got to come up. And it's like the spirit to get it done is kind of what's put into that movie. It's kind of like all the different things ways they have to get it made. That when they kind of get rid of all those obstacles and then they're in, or they get such a bigger budget, that they kind of lose sight and they kind of lose what that original had. And I don't feel like this one's going to have that same issue because it had such a big budget in the beginning. If this had the budget and the story kind of behind why am I blanking on the movie? But the movie about the cat, the silent movie about the cat,
Flow.
Yeah. Like if it had the same story of that, it'd be like, yeah, I bet you now getting $100 million budget's going to probably, it's going to change everything the way they do things. But like if this one jumps from 100 million to they double it or whatever, it's like I'm not saying it's going to improve it every time, but I also don't think it's going to be the same shock to them or shock to the like to the anyway. I'm just saying at this point, but yeah, that's my thought. I wouldn't be against this being seeing a few more of these and and whether or not they do like more with these characters or they could keep doing like past generations. I will say when did the other woman retire? Because was she active when she was raised in the next generation? When does she officially, when they sign the recording contract, does she retire? How's that work?
Yeah, I could definitely be down for getting some of the backstory of previous bands. Her mother, who died when Rumi was infant.
That's everything I want to know. Let's start with this. What was this sleeping with demons? What was sleeping with demons for? Hold on a second. We know Junie might be okay, but he's got a lot of red flags too, and he's like the most positive demon. So who's this other guy that she was with? That's what I want to know. And where is he at? Because we didn't hear about him dying. Where's that deadbeat father? Let's see him step up. Anyway, was he in that crowd? Was he dead? Did Rumi kill her father? Anyway,
I could be down for. I think that plot sort of writes itself if they want to focus on the father for the second one.
Every movie that has every movie needs to have one person in the production dedicated to a phone line. And you can call and be like, I got a question about just the lore in this world, and I got some questions. And like, okay, so if that were to happen, let me explain what we would do. That's what I want.
You just call. You are placed in the queue. You are number 19,435.
And it's all about it's all. They all turn into a phone sex line about what trying to figure out the fantasies of what the characters would do. But you know what? The person on the other end, they just want to keep the job, so they're happy to have it. They're happy to be working.
Are we to assume, based on the demons on the plane, that even if you kill a demon, it just goes back to the demon world, and now? So her father's alive, or not alive, but a demon in demon
I didn't
world.
I didn't even catch on to that. They just go back to the demon world. I didn't notice that. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought they were dead. I thought they would get rid of them.
Because when the people on the plane go back, the main demon is like, "You sons of bitches!
Oh, yeah.
How could you let them get away? You had them on a plane." It's like,
coffee doesn't go with plants.
And it's like I said, these are minor things that don't, it served the story enough and it worked. But I thought it was funny of being like, oh, you guys are demons. We know you're demons because you're trying to act like humans, but you can't act like humans. And then suddenly they're perfect mimics of these of the artists, But like I said, that's just nitpicking. That's not really a real complaint that I have. Where was the motivation of the light? Where's the light motive? The source, light source. That's my problem. But no.
We're not going to get into crystals and all that sort of fucking Star Wars bullshit.
But no, I enjoyed the movie.
Do some ratings.
Shit, I didn't even thought about ratings.
This for me is a 5. That again, no one's surprised. 5 stars for me. I love it. This is for I'll just say when I have a child, they will be watching this movie. That's just without a doubt gonna be happening. Maybe just for me, that's my nephew is.
Straight out of
I
the
think
womb.
he's 5 or 6, and he has a Huntrix poster up in his room, and I'm like, that's so fucking sick, man! Like hell yeah. It's also just cool that it's so often throughout history this would be just like a little girl's movie, and it's like the boys would have to either pretend they don't like it for fear of being bullied or just actively not watch it out of spite. But it's awesome
that was
like,
Princess Diaries.
everybody loves it. Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
remember
or High
being
School
like,
Musical.
"You guys wanna
Me
watch
having to
Princess
act
Diaries?"
like that wasn't
Losers
like
to Fernando.
fucking every song was a hit. But you watch the Princess Diaries, ironically.
It honestly reminds you of the other guys. Where it's like you learn to dance like that ironically.
But yeah, 5, easy.
I'm gonna go a 4, and I'm simply gonna say I'm sure to go up on my next watch. I feel like as much as I enjoyed it, I didn't get. You guys are on your second viewing at least, so like I just feel like there's more to be gained, and I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna give it a 4 for now. And I'm not gonna be surprised if it goes up to a 4.5 or higher.
Yeah, for me, the first time I watched it, I gave it a 4.5, and Past Chad is crazy because this is a 5, like no doubt. But yeah,
Winston's upset with my score. He wants
As
to give
he
it a
should
5,
be.
but I don't think you watched it.
Well,
it has room to go up.
It's true. We can't go any higher. I mean, we can make the rules, but like Letterboxd only lets us go to 5, so I can only leave it
Well,
there.
we could. You know what? We should have done the scale 1 to 10, and that way we could have gone to 11 for special occasions.
We can
Let's
just
go
do
back. Let's
5,
start-
and I'll do
let's
the
start
Dave
over.
Meltzer thing, where I randomly
start
give
over.
one movie a 7 stars, and then from that point on, the scale doesn't matter. But now, the real question that we have to ask is, Brennan, did you remember that it's your turn to give prompts this week?
I was so close to not. I was so close to not remembering.
I was so
I
close
was-
to not doing the trivia either.
It was like, I was like, and the new job has got me like, man, when you're in that 9 to 5, 8 to whatever, it's like this job, especially because I'm learning and there's so much I got to learn. Like I don't have any time to think about anything else, So it's like it's nice because it helps time just shoot by. But then I get out and I'm like, oh my god, I have a life. I have other things. I have responsibilities outside of here,
It's funny to call this a responsibility.
It's up there. Well, I also have the same issue with school. I got 2 weeks of my class left, so I'm like, oh my god, I can't right now. But so here we are. These prompts, I feel like I started so strongly in the first episode with my prompts, and now I'm just like, you're lucky you picked the movie.
First prompt, do you want to watch Dodgeball? Second prompt.
We're getting close. We're getting close to that. So the first one is, I think it might be my favorite Jeff Bridges movie. The next one, and I know this isn't a popular character, but my favorite.
It can only
O.J.
be
Simpson.
4 people. Is it
Kevin
Kevin Spacey?
movie?
Yep.
Kevin Spacey movie. I wouldn't say maybe his show House of Cards first 3 seasons. That's hard to beat those first 3. But if we're talking about movies, I like this movie a lot. It's also got Jeff Bridges in it. Don't let the just a happily gay man, as he would describe himself, ruin the film. And then the other one is a classic that I would like to watch again that I've only seen the one time. And then I think there was one more I was going to maybe do. I'm not sure because I feel like that's actually a good prompt, but I also don't want to pick that movie. That might be too good of a prompt. So I'm not gonna. So we're gonna leave out those three. We're gonna go those three because that prompt might be. I don't feel like watching this movie yet, and because it's a long movie, and the prompt might be just too good for you guys. Now this doesn't sound like a prompt. We're gonna ignore what I'm saying now and go with the first three prompts.
So are we in agreement,
Okay,
Josh,
so-
to pick the fourth prompt?
Yes, the fourth prompt for sure.
God damn it! Well, I've got to
No,
abide by it.
I'm between. I think it's safe to say I'm between the first and the third one.
Damn, I was thinking the second one because I wanted to be 7. But...
The second one is not. It's not
He
7.
said
but
he said Jeff Bridges is also in it, so
Oh,
that's
true.
like I'm
Fuck.
like that rules out the usual suspects. That rules out 7, and at that point, like, why? What are we even doing?
True.
I think you guys are going to do this movie a disservice because, although granted, I also want to see it again. I haven't seen it since high school. But anyway,
I love Jeff Bridges, and I realize I haven't seen a lot of classic movies, and I've enjoyed going and rewatching, or not rewatching, but just like watching for the first time these classic movies that I've just blanked on.
if you're asking me
So,
which one I think
Chad,
you guys will
I'm
enjoy the
between either of
most,
those two.
if
I'm
you guys
not.
want to hint
Chad,
at which one,
what are you-
if you guys want to hint at which one I think you will enjoy most, I think you would enjoy the first one the most.
The first one's probably like True Grit or something.
It's not True Grit.
Damn.
Is it fucking what's the one? Is he in Hell or High
Big
Water,
Lebowski.
or is that someone else?
It's neither one of those.
Damn.
Is it Bad Times at the El Royale?
Nope.
Can't think of any other Jeff Bridges movies. Chad, I'll let you decide.
It's barely even a Jeff Bridges movie. I mean, it is a Jeff Bridges movie, but I feel like it's not. He's there. He's a main character, but like it's not like a classic Jeff Bridges performance. I think it's just a great movie, and he's in it.
Well, now that you say that, I'm gonna go with the classic.
Okay.
I'll second that, I guess.
Go with the classic. We're gonna go with Casablanca.
Oh shit.
Mm.
Okay.
I watched it a handful of years ago. I enjoyed it. I will say the copy I watched had very bad sound. I think I have a different copy. My aunt passed away, and I believe I got her copy. So I'm hoping that's a better copy. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it might be kind of, I think it's an interesting setting for a movie, a place where war is on its way. Or a place kind of between the war, close to the war, but not the war, but a place where like kind of a neutral ground. There were, to some degree, there are all different factions there. The Nazis, I don't know. Is it take place during World War II or is it just before World War II? Either way, it's a fun one. The former lovers re-meeting again has always been something I've enjoyed ever since I was supposed to read The Great Gatsby in high school, but didn't. And it was like, wow, that sounds like a great story, guys. I'm going to miss out on this one. Yeah, so Casablanca it is. If you would like to know the other ones, because I'm going to say them anyway, because I will be bringing them up again, although at least the first one for sure. First one is Seabiscuit. If you haven't seen that one, it's just a good movie. Okay. And the second one, which is also a movie, and I think it's on Netflix right now, so I would also recommend seeing this one. I know it's got Kevin Spacey, but it's a solid movie. It's called K-Pax. And I don't know if you know what that movie is, but I'll give you the idea of what it is. So Jeff Bridges is like a therapist, works in like a mental hospital. And one day the cops bring in Kevin Spacey. I know, just as you suspect. and cops bring in Kevin Spacey and they say, hey, we found this guy. I think he was at the train station or just wandering town or whatever. He seems like he's out of it. He's claiming to be an alien from another planet. And it's all about him Jeff Bridges trying to break him of this delusion. But then, there's a few things that he says and does that happens. Like, they take him to, this astronomy center where he gives information that, he shouldn't have. And they do, some interesting, hypnotherapy and whatnot. It's a good little, it's a good little interesting movie. Like I said, try to get past Kevin Spacey if you can. He won't.
I was just gonna say, good luck.
No, but like I said, so those are those. Both I recommend. Yeah, I think Seabiscuits is just, it's got good narration. It's good, kind of a feel good sports movie. Yeah. So yeah, see Casablanca.
All right.
Here's looking at you.
I feel like if you guys don't cut me off sometimes, I feel like I will just start rambling and I'm doing a TED talk and my prompter just went out. And
Sometimes I like to just sit back and let it play out.
But like, how
Just
far?
like, let's see where we end up.
How long is he gonna flail for? And I'm just gonna keep going back. And that's what I think.
It's like
Sometimes
a
when you
Simpsons
start
bit
talking,
where you just hear Homer going off into the distance, and it's like, yeah, we come back in an hour and
Sometimes-
be finishing up this thought.
sometimes when you start talking, I look at the timer and I'm like, all right, let's see where it is when he ends.
I literally saw the clip. Well, it wasn't of her, but it was just of the sound of Kelly from The Office. They're being like, Kelly, that's actually a really good idea. And she's like, what did I say? And she's like, I talk so much, I've understood myself out.
I do this thing where I think 15 times an episode, go, one more thing, one last thing, one more thing, and then I'll bring up 15 more things. So I'm kind of there with you. But anyways, that's all for now. We're signing off the Comrades of Cinema. I've been Josh.
And I'm Brennan.
And I'm Chad.
And we'll see you next week for Casablanca.